We are live. All right, a good tavach. We should have had a sponsor for tonight, but I couldn't print it out quick enough, so there's no sponsor. Today is 31 days in the Omer, 4 weeks and 3 days. We're 2 days away from Lag BaOmer. And there's tremendous news. The girl that we were all looking for was found healthy, safe and sound, Baruch Hashem. So that parsha is over. Baruch Hashem. All right, a couple of emails. It is Motzei Shabbos. First of all, I have a picture. He's missing. I don't know, where's Jonathan Stefansky? Is he on? Anyway, here's a picture of a dentist office, and in the dentist office there's a TV screen on the ceiling, and you can ask for music, but if you want to fall asleep, this is the preferred way. You get the daf in. Anyway, that's that. What else do we have here? There's a very long email. Let's see if I could cut it out here. This is from Adam Lobato from Edgware, London. Apologies in advance for the long email. I've been meaning to write to you again for a long time. I'll just leave it as is. No, it's not good. No, leave it. No, I'm looking over here. It's fine. I've been meaning to write to you again for a long time. I last emailed you back on Brachas Daf Daled. I have lots of time to think about it. I started watching the full shir at the start of Brachas, and Baruch Hashem haven't missed the daf yet. Although there have surely been many times I've been holding. I wasn't holding, definitely Mekayim, more the Yomi than the daf. Okay. This is primarily a note of Akaras Attire. Firstly, to you for giving over by far, in my opinion, the most engaging, clear, and well-delivered Daf Yomi shiurim that I've found. I've tried many others, American, British, Sephardi, Litvish, Hasidish, but I haven't looked back since starting with you. Shkoyach. It's also the first online share that I felt truly immersed and engaged in. I owe this not just down to you and your style, but to the phenomenal chabura of the Merkaz Daf Yomi, and importantly to your team of chaverim who seem to have limitless levels of energy, passion, and hunger to spread your Torah or Torah to as many as possible. Whether it's Yeshua reaching out via WhatsApp to people personally to learn about them, and I thought to learn, but it's to learn about them and to encourage them and keep them going, or Yosef spending what is clearly hours arranging all the uploads and links, or one of the many other members of the Chabura, of the Chevra, sharing advice, stories, and Torah via the chat group, etc. When we were together in the Beis Medrash pre-Corona, I was desperate to come and be there for the shir in person. Now in these Zoom times, I wish I could join live at 5:15 UK time, but my current situation is making that tough, so I find myself watching later via YouTube. Why don't you be part of the camaraderie of the shir? Good. We're almost done. Having the daf every day in your shir and the chevra has been exactly what I need in what's been a very difficult and chaotic time. To have that magnetic, engaging kfiyus of Torah to look forward is priceless. I've written way more than I intended, but I felt it was important to show my Akaras Hatov, and just a couple of final points. I'm from Edgware in London. Remember when you read my first email, you had no idea where it was, and I was speaking with another avid member of the shir from my area, Joel Silberstein, saying we'd like to do what we can to get the word out to more London people so we can rival the now famous Manchester Chabura and balance out the UK representatives. Okay, point number 2. When we're going through by Mehmet leaking, you mentioned several times that people down in the Ashkenaz who know, just to say Sephardim also say this every Friday night. Okay, as someone from UK, I'd love to know the deal with the Folgers coffee that Yeshua clearly loves so much. Is it particularly amazing coffee? No. It's like an average coffee. It's like what they serve in the restaurants in America. But I guess it's inexpensive. It's not cheap. It's inexpensive. And it comes in giant containers that people could carry. But it's better, I think, than the Israeli stuff or whatever they sell here, right? I think so. Not better than David Dimbert's coffee. I'm a big coffee drinker, so I look forward to a Mirz Hashem coming in person one day and having coffee. Listen, it's not kedai to come all the way from London for Folgers. And if it's that important, we could send you a little coffee over there. But yes, you should come visit us anyways. Hi to Yosef Bilyak, who I knew many moons ago. That's why I mentioned you beforehand, Yosef. Back in London, it doesn't surprise me at all to see what a ben Torah and Bal Chesed he has become. Thank you again for the amazing Abartz's Torah, and personally for me for keeping the days filled with engaging Limud Torah. Adam Lobato, Edgware, London, UK. See, the normal in Edgewood, London, UK. Now listen to this. All of a sudden I get an email from Joel Silberstein. Shalom Aleichem. I've been listening to the shir since the beginning of the new cycle. It so happens that Alan Bato is a friend of mine and lives in the same area as Edgewood. I've spoken to him and we would like to jointly represent London, UK. Kol Tov, Joel Silberstein, Edgeware. You see, the guys in Chicago... Gary, I see you sitting and looking on the screen. I thought you were coming over here. Okay, you could talk to yourself because I don't hear you. But Mazel Tov to add to Gary. He just made a bar mitzvah today. And it was an amazing thing. He gave out, just to me, I guess, a Shalach Monas Kiddush thing. Like, you don't have to come to my house. He said, here's a Kiddush. It had herring and kugel and all that stuff. But I came anyways to say hello to him. It was the first time out. But over there, they're not careful. People without masks on your side of town, but they still daven on the porch, whatever. So Yoel Silberstein and Adam Abado want to represent Edgeware. There are 4 people fighting over Chicago. We have Andrew Glatz, Yosef Ben Zev, Yoel Bergman, and Aryeh Weil. Obviously, Yoel Bergman wins, but we're just thinking maybe we should just do more than one person. I think it makes more sense. We'll do a bunch of people. And now listen to this. All of a sudden I get another email. Good morning. I just want to thank you, Rebelli, and whoever else is out there. I'm on my second cycle of Daf Baruch Hashem. Just felt I had to write. I discovered Rebelli's shir after someone posted the link for last week's shir sponsored as Refuah Shlema for the Selger brothers. It's truly amazing shir. Can't sleep tonight. So, listening to your share on YouTube because didn't manage yesterday. Thank you so much. Olim Shir Stivis, Laws Jacobson, Edgeware, UK. So we got 3 people from Edgeware. He doesn't want to be a representative, but anyway, we're looking for representatives, real representatives, and we'll consider them all. So, Rabbi Isai, let's jump into this. It's Daf Samach Dalet today. We're holding on the bottom of Samach Gimel and Beis by Torah Rabbanon. Like 6 lines from the bottom. Arig, yeah, we're good. Arig, kol shuhu tameh. So we learned yesterday about a small piece of garment, even less than 3 by 3 fingers, tameh. V'tachshit kol shuhu tameh. And a very small jewelry piece is tameh. We learned yesterday. Arig v'tachshit kol shuhu tameh. What about them together? Small little piece of garment, attached a small little piece of jewelry. What about that? Each one by itself doesn't do anything, but together they combine to make something. Is it tameh? Says the Gemara, it's tameh. Musav sak ala beged, sack, a sack from now on, and today's sugya sack is referring to something made out of goat's hair. Okay, the wool of a goat. Goat's hair, in the Gemara language, is called a naitza. It's a feather. Goat. Sack equals goat. So says the Gemara that a sack is more chamor than clothing. The Gemara is going to explain everything in a second. This we had yesterday, that the source that a small garment is mekabel tuma is from the word oibeged. That a small piece of jewelry is tameh. How do we know that? Mitzitz, we had yesterday. The only thing we didn't have yesterday is the combination of the two. Arig v'tachshit kol shu tameh. What do you have? If you have a small piece of garment together with a small piece of jewelry, you're probably all asking, but isn't that included already? No. Because each one by itself doesn't do anything. Together they do something. So that I need a special pasuk, mikoil kli masa. Okay, there's another pasuk. Amalei ha'umer rabbanon l'rava ha'u b'midyan ksiv. Midian is tumas mace. And how do you know anything else? Omerlei gomar kli mihasam. Okay, tabed av samach dal and aleph. So we're learning out kli. So in tumas mace it says the word kli. By tumas sheretz it says kli. We learn one from the other. Everything is great. All right, Rabbi Yisai, we're going to start now a sugya of drushes, but don't check out yet. Trust me. This is a very, very typical sugya. If you learn 2 or 3 of them, you'll see they're basically all the same. They have the same kind of theme. They ask the same questions. They come out with the same results. I see Gary left his seat, so that means he's on his way here. So when he knocks, you could open it up. Of course, the dog. Oh, the dog. I have a great mice to tell you. It's not so nice. I don't know if I should say it about myself. I could say it in somebody else. But there's a guy in my building who's a big troublemaker. Dr. Epstein, I'm not talking about you. This shtickle troublemaker. But me and him, we get along great. I can't say that the whole building gets along with him great. Baruch Hashem, I don't think he watches the shirs. He's not going to watch. Nobody tell him that I'm saying this. But I get along with him, seriously, I get along with him great. I'm able to shtach him a little bit, he shtachs me. And that's a different time. I'll talk about the email that Hill sent me about the shtaching. David Feinberg has a couple times, great. But anyways, he comes running over to me right before Meir is about to begin. And there's like 35 people standing around, and he screams out real loud. He says, Eli, Mr. Daf Yomi, if you did Daf Yomi, why do you have a dog? It says you shouldn't have a kelev ra in your house. What kind of Daf Yomi guy are you? HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave me, I don't know why. I turned to him, I go, listen, I first need to deal with shachin ra. Then I could start dealing with a kelev ra. Oh, he had a good laugh. He liked it. It was great. But talking about shachin ra, I really have a really great neighbor right below me. And here's how the world is so small. There's somebody, Ben Zaken, that watches the shir in Rechavia, who told my neighbor downstairs, they called him up and says, oh, Mazel Tov on your pergola. She says, how do you know? She says, we can't tell you. But anyways, she sent him a link. Basically, I was complaining that there was so much noise at 7 o'clock in the morning. Somebody's drilling and making a ruckus here, and we couldn't hear anything. And he watches the shir, so he knew that she has a pergola. So the kids are, the world is, but they are mamish, shachin toiv. He's a magid shir and racist. Chashve people, those shchenim toivim. But anyways, that was the mice. Fine. I'll go upon him. I just got to it because Gary, when he knocks on the door, the dog starts screaming. There's nobody the dog hates more than Gary Ben Moshe. Zog the Gemara. So, what?
No, the Gemara had a Zeh Shav Kli.
Yeah.
And the Gemara learned it out from Kol by Midjan. But the Lashon of the Pasuk by Shabbos.
Mary's asking Kash on these rushes. We can't ask Kash on these rushes.
It says Kol Kli by
Yeah.
Shabbos also.
No.
So why do we need the Zeh Shav from Kli to Kli then to have the Kol? Just use the Kol by Tumah Sheretz.
What are you using the code for?
The Kol
We'll talk about it later. You're here in my house. We'll talk about it later. Anyway, if I had some time, Motzi Shabbos is really bad. I don't have enough time, but just to go through real quickly, I just want to maybe some bit. The good thing is that there's a lot of redundancy. It's a very simple sugya, but it takes up almost the whole amid, and then we're scot-free. And if you know how to, if you do this sugya of drashas, the back, forth, and Gzeir Shava, v'chulu, it's all the same in Shas. He's at the door. Basically, we have two categories. We have mace and sheretz. We have a dead body that imparts tumah, and that's a very strong tumah, 7 days of tahara, etc., mikvah. And they have sheretz. You can go to the mikvah that same day. Great. What we're going to learn, Shalom Aleichem Gedvach, Mazel Tov Gary. Then we have something called a chavak and kilkule. These are, people don't really wear this. This is for the horse. This guy over here, strap that holds the saddle, a strap that holds whatever, that shouldn't slip backwards. Okay, that is, we're going to learn that from mace. And we have sheretz, from sheretz we're going to learn about things that are made out of the wool of a goat, which comes to exclude, and it has to be tavi v'arig, it has to be woven, comes to exclude a rope. A rope is not tavi v'arig. And it comes to also include wool of a horse and anything else, of a cow, of a horse, and everything else. So once I have these things by a sheretz, and this thing by a mace, we have the chavik and kilkili by a mace, all the Gemara is going to do is say that they're both by each other. By whatever you have by a mace, you have by a sheretz, and whenever you have by a sheretz, you have by a mace. Why? Because it says by both of them, oru beged. There's a gzeir shava. That's it. That's the whole sugya. And it goes on, and goes back here, goes back to sheretz, goes back to a mace. But the kids that's all we need to know. That's a very big kitzer, less than 8 minutes. Says the Gemara like this. First, all the way on the top. Musaf sak ala beged. What happened? What did you do?
Now they can hear you.
They could hear me?
You could hear them.
I could hear them, but what do you do exactly? You're not telling me. You'll have to come every day. But put your mask on. We're still in Corona. Says the Gemara, Musaf sak ala beged shetamei mishum arig. So, as we mentioned before, we just have to explain it. There's a sack made out of goat hair is more chamor than a regular beged. Says the Gemara, Atu beged lav origu. What? You saying that a sack is woven, but a beged not? Hachika Amar, this is what he meant to say. Musaf sak ala beged afal pisha einoi orig tamei. We know that everything has to be braided. It has to be woven, spun and woven. So says the Gemara, is the YouTube on? Because I hear somebody calling. Okay. Maybe get the door so he doesn't bing again. Ava pisha einoi orig tamei. So what does that mean? I could take hair from a goat, even though it's not woven. L'may chazi, but what are you doing with it? Amar Rabbi Yochanan, shekain ani korleya shalosh nimin ve'toila b'tzavar bitoy. He could take 3 strands, not really hairs, not to be confused. Shkoyach, another tech guy. Mordechai Seltzer just showed up, worried that perhaps we don't have sand, but Gary's here already and everything's good. Shkoyach, the unbelievable crew of MDY, Shkoyach. So, again, we're not talking about 3 hairs of a goat, we're talking about 3 strands of goat. In other words, somebody made a thread out of it, it's nice. If you take 3 of those, if you're so poor, you can't afford thread, you can't afford a nice necklace for your daughter, so what do? You take this goat hair, you take 3 of them, and you braid it. It's not woven, it's not spun, it might be spun, but it's not woven, it's not an arig. It's not an arig, it's braided. Very different. You basically go like this, like a girl braids her hair. 3 of them, you make a necklace, so you could tie a pendant on it. That's the whole use. That's what we said, that a goat's hair is more chamor than clothing, because clothing you need to have, woven. This you don't. All right, now let's jump into the sugya. Torah Rabbana. It says by sheretz, sack. How do I know to include these guys? Now, what's the difference between this and anything else? Because this is for an animal, this is for a horse. So how do I know that it applies also to the horse stuff? It's the extra oi. I'm talking to myself now. Now, what's a chevel? A rope. Ropes are not made like everything else. The way the Gemara understands a rope, in the time of the Gemara, they took this hair and they just mushed it together and it became a rope. It's not woven and like you make a thread for clothing. It's a rope. Ropes are different. Meshichos, a tape measure. How do you make a tape measure in the time of the Gemara? You got to tell David to get his picture off the screen. The Ben Ish Chai is scaring me. Anyway, he put his picture, went to do something else, and he's pretending he's learning. Somebody tell him. So Akabanim, you take a string. It's exactly.
5 feet from YouTube.
It's off. We're completely off. Exactly. That's off. Okay. What happened?
The Zoom camera is not sensitive.
Yeah, because my son-in-law touched it after. Okay, put it back. Yishkoyach. Okay, but it's crooked. You got to put the tissue under the left side. Yishkoyach. Yeah, but that's too crooked. Push it down. Oh, tazai. Thank you. I don't even know where we're holding. So we have suck. Oy sack. You have a sack. So how do you know that it includes stuff that animal wear? Oy. From the word oy. Ma'asak tovi va'arig. Oh yes, I was talking about a tape measure. That's what I was talking about. The tape measure is you take a piece of rope and you measure exactly 5 feet, and you have a piece, and that's it. Anytime you need something that's 5 feet, you take this piece of rope and it works. But that's not tovi va'arig. It's not woven. It's not spun. It's just a clump of hairs and whatever, and it becomes tight and it becomes a rope. That's not included. Masak tovi v'arig, avkol tovi v'arig, it has to have spun and woven. Harei oimer b'meis. V'chol kli or v'chol maise izim tischato, anything made from goats, l'rabois ha'kilkili v'esachavok. So over here it says by mace. So now we have by a corpse, by a mace, it tells us, we learned the halacha that this is included. These guys are included. How do I know? From a mace. Now the Gemara is going to tell us, once I know it by mace, I know it by sheretz. Why? Because it's a gzeir shava. Because it's 2 words extra here, 2 words here, and they have they're the same words, and therefore whatever halachas I have by mace, I have by sheretz. Whatever halachas I have by sheretz, I have by mace. Maybe I should include also things that are not tavi varig, woven and spun. V'dinu time b'sheretz, v'time b'meis. You were matame by a sheretz, the hair of a goat, and you were matame by a mace. Ma keshetime b'sheretz lo'time elo tavi varig, av shetime b'meis lo'time elo tavi varig. So maybe I should learn one from the other. By sheretz, I need tavi varig, I need spun. So too by a mace. Says Gemara, Hein, what are you talking about? Im heikel betami b'tmei sheretz shikala. A sheretz compared to a mace is no comparison. A sheretz is the tumah that it emits is much lighter than the tumah of a mace. Naka b'tumas hameis chamura. Why is tumas hameis chamura? 7 days. You need the paraduma, you tummy for 7 days. It's a whole different category. To make sheretz, you touch a sheretz, you go to the mikveh that day, you tar at night. Talmud loymar, beged va'ar l'gzeir shava. That's it. This is the whole sugi right here. These words, beged va'ar. It says beged va'ar, clothing and leather, beged va'ar by mace. It says that, so therefore, whatever halachas I have over here, I have over here. Never beged va'ar b'sheretz, never beged va'ar b'mace. Ma beged va'ar omer b'sheretz lo'itim elotavi v'arig. Just like when it comes to sheretz, it has to be woven and spun. Av beged va'ar omer b'mace. You see, there's a lot of redundancy. We're going to be saying the same words, and it's a simple sugya, not to get scared. Just like the beged va'ar, it says by tmei mace, it's everything that has to do with goats, including what? These guys, the chevek, the kilkuli. So too, so now I'm learning from mace to sheretz. Second ago I was doing sheretz to mace, now I'm going backwards. Don't limit me to tumah from a beged that was made from a goat. I mean, even today, who makes stuff from goat hair? I have stuff that's made out of horse hair, even my hat brush or whatever. But goat hair, I think it's in the past. So how do you include all stuff? Stuff that's made from a cow? Tamaloymar oy sak. Okay, oy sak va'afpikta lekilkili v'chavak. But we just used oy sak a minute ago for something else. How could you be using it twice? Says the Gemara, I didn't have Gzeir Shava, so I had to use oy sak. But now I have Gzeir Shava. I don't need that oy sak for chavak v'kilkili. This I can learn from Gzeir Shava between mace and sheretz. I don't need a special oy sak. So what do I do with the oy sak? To tell us even horse hair. But where does it say oisak? It says oisak by a sheretz. So how do I know the same concept by a mace? Well, that's simple. Once I have Gzeir Shava, everything goes, it travels back and forth from sheretz to mace to sheretz, and any halach I have here, I have over there. V'dino tima b'mace, v'tima b'sheretz, ma'kish tima b'sheretz, also dava habam is nava susim is nava porik izim. Just by sheretz. All material is the same, whether it was made from a horse or a goat or a cow. So too by mace. Hey, wait a minute, stop. What's more likely for you to touch? A dead rat, a sheretz, or a dead body? Sheretz is much more common. It's very rare. Okay, but we have beged va'ar l'gzeir shava. I have the Gzeir Shava, and therefore I go back and forth. Nemar beged va'ar b'sheretz, v'nemar beged va'ar b'meis, ma beged va'ar b'omer b'sheretz. Also, dov abam is nav asus, nav parik ma'isi izim. A beged va'ar omer b'meis. Also, dov abam is nav asus, nav parik ma'isi izim. That's it. Simple, yes. But now the Gemara goes into one more detail that we have in a lot of sugyas when it comes to these drushes. The concept of Muffinur. When I have Gzeir Shava, it says beged and or by mace, and it says beged and or by sheretz. I learned halachas. But wait a minute. If I could ask a simple question and say that they're different, then I can knock this Gzeir Shava out. But if there's a word that's completely extra in one of the places, and according to one Manda Omar, in both of the places, then it's so solid, there's no way to knock the Gzeir Shav out. It's as if, literally, the Torah told this halacha to me specifically in both places. If the Torah says a halacha, and the Torah says that chevek and kilkuli work by a sheretz, and we learn Gzeir Shav that it works by a mace, or vice versa, it's as if the Torah said it in both. Only on condition that it's mufna, that there's an extra word that we don't need at all. And we don't know what to do with that word, and that word comes to tell us that this is a solid drasha. Says the Gemara, umufna. By the way, there's an extra word. Di lav mufna, because if there wasn't an extra word, ikila mifrach, and it's the same language in every sugya. If there's no mufna, then I'm going to have a question. What's the question? I'm going to say that this is more chamer than that, and therefore I can't learn one from the other. Every sugya is different. Why is this more chamer than that? Okay, it gives you a reason. Oh, you know why it's chamor? Because the tumah of a sheretz, if the sheretz is this small, it emits tumah. Versus a mace, it has to be this large. So what's more powerful? The sheretz it has a bigger bang for tumah. It's able to emit tumah on a very small scale. A very small adasha could give out tumah. That means it's more powerful than a dead person, in a way. Yeah, a dead person gives tumah that lasts for 7 days. But it has to be a very large piece. Says the Gemara, says the Gemara, you're right. There is an extra word. What's the extra word? There's a hackish between sheretz and shikva zera. The following pasuk, next pasuk, isha shehiga b'chol sheretz. So shikva zera and sheretz are pasuk after pasuk. Then the whole beged v'ar is not necessary by sheretz. So the words beged v'ar are so extra that now that I make a gzeir shavim from the word beged v'ar, it's solid. There's no way I could slug it up. Says the Gemara, and again, this is the same style everywhere through Shas. But I only have one extra word by sheretz. That's great according to one mandam, that says one extra word is enough. But according to the other mandam, I have to have extra word by sheretz and extra word by mace. Otherwise, I can ask a great question. And what was that question? That you cannot learn out mace from sheretz because sheretz is different. It's mitama with the small size of a chadasha, where mace you need a large size of an aleph. The mace now mufna. Guess what? There's an extra word by mace. Michte, the whole beged and ar is extra by mace, and it's extra by sheretz. Why? Because both of them you can learn out from shikva zera, and therefore they're both extra. Forget about the next pasuk. In the same pasuk, it says, you touch a dead person, there's a hackish between the two. That we had a second ago by sheretz when we were talking about sheretz. It says by shikva zera the words beged and ar. Beged var the kazer achmana b'meis lamali shmamina lafnuye. Great. End of the sugya. We're done. Saying Chaim, I don't think Chaim. No, we're not done for tonight. We're done with the drushes. I think Chaim is going to show up now. If I would have told him that we're done after how many minutes? Not that long. What's going on here? So basically, you have Gzeir Shava or Beged, and from that Gzeir Shava, I go from a mace to a sheretz, and I learn that the goat hair and not chevel, and I learn a kilkili, and I go back and forth, and everything is great. That was that whole sugya. Says the Gemara, "V'nakriv is korban Hashem ish asher matza kli zav." So when Klal Yisrael came back from the war, Midian, they brought ish asher matza kli zav. So all the jewelry that they found in the war, all of the loot, the jewelry loot, they decided to give it as a korban to Hashem. They brought it to the Beis Hamikdash, to the Mishkan. What do they bring? So the Torah enumerates: etzada, ankle bracelets; vitzamid, bracelets; tabas, rings; agil v'kumaz. We don't know what that is. The Gemara is going to explain. Omer Belazar. Says the Gemara, this is referring to jewelry that you wear in private, for private parts. Agil zetfus shel dadin. It has the shape of the top of the woman. Kumaz zetfus shel beis harechem. And the kumaz is the erva. Now it makes sense. The targum of this word is mochayich, which is laughter. Erva, arayis, brings to leitzonos. So it's a joke. Why do you have to go to the targum and get this from the targum? Shmamino, I can learn that from the pasuk itself. That what? The guf of the krosh mamino. Kumaz. What does kumaz mean? It's actually Rashi Tevis. Kan makoim zima. This is a place of znos. Says the Gemara Vayiksav of Moshe al Pikudei Chayil. Moshe Rabbeinu was upset. He was mad at the commanders of the army. What happened? Omer Nachman Rav Omer Moshe Yisrael. When Moshe Rabbeinu sees, all of a sudden you start bringing gifts. If somebody all of a sudden brings you a gift, you have to be worried. Not you, Leon. Not you. This wasn't prepared. Leon Welcher, he noticed over here in my cabinet that it's empty. We're dry. No more wine. Now, what he doesn't realize is that on that side of the room, there's a big fridge. That's my wine fridge. All the expensive wines are in there. So what he did, like Meir just said, that wine fridge is actually empty. He didn't know that. So he's basing on this. So Erev Shabbos, he sent over Yosef with a beautiful present, forest attire, and a Petit Verdot. I don't know how he knows that I like it. I happen to like Petit Verdot a lot. So Yishkoyach. But the Gemara is saying that Moshe Rabbeinu, when he received the present, all of a sudden Klal Yisrael is bringing all this gold. What's going on? You guys did something wrong. It sounds a little fishy. Maybe you did something wrong. Remember, when they went to war with Midian, they had the terrible story, the Midianim, beforehand, they sent out their women, and Klal Yisrael was nichshal, and 24,000 of us, of Jews, were nifter, got killed, and then we had to go to war with them. So Moshe Rabbeinu says, maybe that's what happened with you. Maybe it happened again. Maybe you're nichshal again. Why? All of a sudden, you're big tzaddikim, you're bringing matanos. Says the Gemara, we counted every single one of us, and we're all here. In other words, Rashi even says, midas Yehudis. Nobody went off the derech, nobody did an aveir, nothing. We're perfect. Exactly like we left, we're here. So why are you bringing presents? So what's the problem? So why are you bringing something? It's unbelievable Gemara. Maybe we weren't over an Aveira. But we thought about an Aveira. Amazing. We thought about Znos. Miyad v'nakriv is karban Hashem. And we have to bring a carbon for that, just for thinking. And we're going to see an amazing thing here. Crazy. Says the Gemara, actually it's tomorrow, I think. Let me see if it's tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's daf. That, I'll just point it out here. We learned once in a sugya that a kohen gadol cannot marry a woman who b'machshava was mizana. In other words, the machshava's nus is very powerful. It's not, I thought about it, big deal. No. They thought about it and they had to bring a carbon for it. Torah very small. We could turn the page. Daf Samach Beis. They saw erva just with their eyes, not that they did anything, and that's why they needed a kapara. Unbelievable. The Torah should have said that Klal Yisrael, all jewelry, whatever the jewelry was, they gave to Moshe Rabbeinu. But the Torah starts saying three that are visible, ankle bracelets, and rings, and then Agil v'Kumas, the private ones. Why are they all together, mixed up in one pasuk? Says the Gemara, and we had this in Masechtas Brachas. I hope you remember this. Just like the ones that are exposed, you could see. So if you look at a woman's small pinky. In other words, on a nothing. But you not look. You see, you gaze. Lahana ki'ilu mistakel b'makom haturfa. It's as if you're looking in a private place because the private jewelry is together with the exposed jewelry. They're all the same. Says the Mishnah. Now, the parak started b'meh isha yoytzel, but the first Mishnah was discussing, another Mishnah discussing what a woman cannot go out with. How you doing, Rabbi El Kubi? I didn't see you last time. I spoke about you. I said you bumped into me. You said hello to me. A 15-year-old kid that watches every single day. Kol hakavod. Halavai more of those 15-year-olds. Not to talk about Ben Ishchai, that's also on my screen now. David kid. It's really David. And there's a bunch of other ones. But yeah. Oh, Kornbluth. Look at this screen. On this screen, you have Daron Kornbluth with two of his kids, his teenagers. We have Moti Milledorf with his kid. Who else? Akiva Factor. That's a standard. Yeah, who's that? Who's Nechemi? He's running away. Now they're running away. We're putting him out, they're running away. Says the Mishnah. We're going to be discussing things that a woman could go out. Amazing sugyas. These are sugyas for all of Yiddishkeit, all of Shas, what we're going to be learning today. A woman could go out with braids in her hair. Remember this sugya? That they use these strings to braid their hair. Now, we learned when you can't go out, when you could go out. Now, if it's made out of regular material, it's also why? Because she's going to pull it out and show her friend. Sorry, we're talking about chatzitza. Since she has to undo it before the mikvah, so we're chayshish that she might undo it and therefore she'll carry it. But her own hair, or hair in general, there's no chatzitza on here, right? We said you cannot tie hair tight enough to make a chatzitza. If there's no chatzitza, she doesn't have to undo it, and if she doesn't have to undo it, she'll never carry it. Okay. Yaitza isha b'chutei seyar, she could go out with strings made out of hair. Bei mishalah, whether they're her own hair that she cut off and she made some sort of device to tie her hair with, bei mishal chaverta, or hair that you buy in the store, somebody else's hair, bei mishal behema, or animal hair. You remember these guys? We just had them. Toitefes and sarvitin, headbands that go sideways or they go top to bottom. But these are different. The first Mishnah we were concerned she's going to take them off, but in this Mishnah we're not. Why? Because they're sewn. They're sewn to this. They're sewn in. You cannot remove it. She can remove it if she moves her whole headgear. Who's going to take off her head and show her and expose her hair? Not a problem. Listen to this. This throws everybody for a loop. Bechavel, that yarmulke device that she wears, ubepeya nachris, and with a sheitel lechotzer. So it says in the Mishnah l'chayra that a woman could go out with a sheitel into a chotzer. So what about all those signs on the street? You're not allowed to go with a sheitel. You're not allowed to go with a sheitel. So the Shiltei Gibarim says, from here you see, you're allowed to go out with a sheitel. The women wore sheitels in those days. There's a thing to wear sheitels. On the other hand, you have the Beersheva that says, well, wait a minute, it's the opposite. And I like his raya, it's a tremendous raya. I don't know what to do with his raya really, but he says, this Mishnah corresponds to the first Mishnah of the Parak. Everything that we have in the first Mishnah, we talk about here. We spoke about in the first Mishnah, Tefes and Sarvitin. We had these headbands, and we said you cannot go out with it. Why? Because they're not attached. And now the Mishnah says, but they are attached, so you're allowed to go out with it. Everything that we had in the first Mishnah, we spoke about just regular strings that she braids her hair with, you cannot go out with. And this Mishnah says, you could go out with human hair. All of a sudden, the Mishnah talks about a sheitel. Why didn't the first Mishnah talk about a sheitel? Says the Beersheva, because nobody wears sheitels. You only wear a sheitel in a chatzar. Anyways, that's the Beersheva, that's the Shiltei Gibarim, spoken about hundreds of years ago, maybe 1,000. Long time ago. But anyways, I don't want to get into the whole sugya. You're allowed to wear, not allowed to wear, inspired him, don't wear. Rabbi Vad Yosef tells his people not to wear sheitel. So I just want to tell you there's a famous tshuva from Moshe Feinstein. I'll say it real quickly. It's just very interesting. A woman wrote to the Moshe Feinstein that her husband wants her to stop wearing a sheitel. And his taina was that it's maris ayin. People, the sheitels today are so beautiful, they look better than the woman's here. It's maris ayin. People are going to think that she's not wearing a sheitel. So Moshe Feinstein wrote back to the husband, not to the wife, and said, listen, you don't make up in our days maris ayin. There's no such thing. Chachamim could say maris ayin in those days, but you don't make up a maris ayin. Okay. That's a little bit I'm not going to go because my son-in-law is here, so I don't want to shtuch him out, that if you daven in a porch minion where it's a marasayin that. Fine. And I told him then, you don't make up marasayins, whatever. Loy plugs. We don't make up loy plugs there. Anyway, fine.
He said he never said that.
He didn't say it. He said loy plug, and I said we don't make up loy plugs. He has to shiloh, whatever. Anyway, he's probably right. I'm wrong. Most people hold like him, especially in America.
We're not in America. Where's America?
You want to say
I'll go on him.
your father
Later.
He said that.
But listen to what Moshe Feinstein tells this guy. He says, I don't know what you look like, but assume that you shave. How come there's no marasayim on your shave? People are going to think you shaved with a razor. So we're not chayshish that you shaved with a razor. You're a normal yeshiva guy. You're a frum guy. You're not going to shave with a razor. So why would anybody think that your wife is walking around with her hair covered? You are okay, but your wife not? And then he tells him, he says, the Ramah says in 2 places that you're allowed to wear a sheitel. We're Ashkenaz, and we go by the Ramah. Stop hacking a chinik. Do other chumras, whatever. Fine. So that's Moshe Feinstein. I just thought it was a cool tshuva. Says the Gemara. Says the Mishnah.
So he put up a picture of Moshe Feinstein.
So you're allowed to go out with a kaval and a pair of nachas into the chatzar. Now notice, this is the only thing in the Mishnah that says these words.
We see Meir on the Merpeset all the time. He's constantly on the
Things have changed. Things have changed with Meir and the whole thing. Look, there is no, I don't know if you didn't notice, but there is no more corona in Israel. It doesn't exist. I don't know for a fact, but I just see the way people are acting. It doesn't exist. They're not walking around with masks anymore. They're touching and hugging each other in the streets. There is no corona. Baruch Hashem, for today, there's no corona. So Mela, people are relaxing a little bit, and those who daven in their bedrooms are davening in the porches. Those who are davening in the porches are davening downstairs. Those who are davening downstairs are already in shuls. By Tuesday, I'm assuming there's going to be shir in the Daf Yomi, Merkaz Daf Yomi, with 400 people. All right, anyway, it's going to happen soon, believe it or not. Just halavai, just say like this and not have a second wave. A woman could go out with those cotton swabs in her ear. We're going to see a whole sugya about it. Let's say she has a wound. I've seen it. I know that women, when they, their high heels start rubbing, whatever, they put in a little thing in there. And a woman for her nida. Bepilpel, she could put, how do you say pilpel in English? Pepper, a peppercorn in her mouth. Ubegalgal melach, and a piece of salt. The one is for bad breath. One is begalgal melech is for her toothache. Anything that she can put in her mouth. Do not put it there on Shabbos. And if these things fall, you cannot put them back. Shein toiteves, a fake tooth. Shen shel zav. Rashi learns it's one thing. It's a shen toiteves, shen shel zav, his main pshat. In other words, those Russian guys with that golden tooth. For some reason, rappers think it's cool. Whatever. I guess the thing. It was a thing. So Memela, that's your thing. Okay. Shen shel zav. Remeir mater v'chachamim oisrim. Remeir says it's mutter to go out. Again, the question: are you going to whip out? Are you going to pull out your tooth and start showing? Look, 24 karat gold. Or when you do that, that actually shows that you're missing a tooth and it's kind of embarrassing, you're not going to do it. So that's the typical machlekes we had a few times already. Says Gemara, Utzricha, when the Mishnah talks about her hair, her friend's hair, or an animal's hair, we need these things. Look, she's not disgusted by her own hair. Yes, it's not attached to her body, but she's not disgusted. I mean, if people... Is that Avi Kamiansky?
Yes. Who else could it be?
Okay, I get it. Mike Tyson has one tooth is missing and 2 gold teeth. Fine. I think that's all he has, by the way, to his name. It's a good thing he bought that gold tooth, because if he... Who did that? Fine. Next. V'yashmin in the chaverta. Rabbi say, I mean, shaitels today are chavertas, and nobody is too much, and especially if you thought about which chaverta comes from some woman in India, Hashem Yerachem, in some village. But akaparim, v'yashmin in the chaverta, the basminahu. Okay, at least it's human here. Av the behema, you're wearing a horse's tail on your head. La barminahu emeloi. So maybe you cannot wear it. It's terrible. Your friend is going to say, "What are you wearing? A cow's tail on your head? Take it off." So she right away takes it off, but she's a Rosh Hashanah. She'll come to walk with it. Tzricha. Tano bevachali teitzi yalda b'shel skena uskena b'shel yalda. This is all good, but make sure that if you're an old woman, don't put on young hair, and if you're a young woman, don't put on white hair. In other words, you have everything is white. Also, you're going to have nice black hair. It doesn't make sense. People are going to start laughing at you immediately if you're 90 years old. Says the Gemara, I can understand that an old woman wants to look better. So she dyes her hair, or in this case, she's wearing a sheitel with younger looking hair. Imagine a 15-year-old girl in high school, she's going to wear an old lady's hair, white hair. I mean, what are you, crazy?
Crazy.
Genayullah, it's disgusting. Says the Gemara, you're right. 100%. It makes no sense, but we just had it flows, with the lashon. Yal skena yalda, great. Bechavel ubepei nachris l'chotzer. Omar Rav, kol she'asru chachamim. Here's the big question: is there, Rabbis? I think about it for 10 seconds. Is there any Indian in the world that a woman should not wear jewelry in a very large street, going to the Merkaz, in Yerushalayim, I don't know what, not to wear jewelry, or in any street? Is there any Inyan whatsoever? She's wearing tachshitim, she's wearing necklaces, she is not going to show it to her friends. Nobody today shows it to her friend. There's no such a thing. Is there any Inyan whatsoever to tell your wife, do not wear jewelry? That's the shayla, today's question. Yes, no. Has anybody ever thought about it? Is it b'chlal an issue? You're not going to believe what we're going to come out to today. You're not going to believe it. Says the Gemara, Omer Rav kol shasru b'chol v'pei nachris l'chatz. Omer Rav kol shasru chacham lotzis boy l'shus harabim asur lotzis boy l'chatzer. You hear what's going on here? This kind of answers my question in a way. Any item that's asur to go out into the Rosh Hashanah with. Jewelry is one of them. You're not going to Rosh Hashanah with jewelry because you're going to show your friend. It's asur to go into a private domain called the Chatzer. Chutz mikavel upeya nachris. The only 2 items are a sheitel and a kavel. That snoo device that fits tight on the head and keeps the hair in, that you're allowed to. Only 2 things in the world. Everything else is asur. Rabbi Anani bar Sasa mishmeder Rabbi Shmuel Omar hakol kikavel. No. Everything, you're allowed jewelry, whatever it is, everything's like kavel. Tanan, bekavel ubepei nachris l'chatzer. But it says in our Mishnah specifically only 2 items. It doesn't talk about jewelry. When the whole Mishnah is talking about jewelry, but the end of the Mishnah says, but only 2 items you're allowed to go to the chatzer. Bishlam el Rav Nichon, Rav makes a lot of sense. Rav says only 2 items, you're right. El Rav Anani bas Sasik, but according to Rav Anani bas Sasan, who says that all items you're allowed to go into the chatzer with, what do? Says the Gemara, who is he quoting? He's quoting a Tana called Rabbi Shmuel bar Yosi. Rabbi Shmuel bar Yosi, Tana u'palig, ein chanami. So you have Rav Sasan, Rabbi Nani, who says you're allowed to go out with jewelry, and then you have Rav, who says you're not allowed to go out with jewelry. Who do we passing like? Rav or Rabbi Nani? So here's a massive taisvus. I'm going to spare you the whole taisvus. V'nir da'alochik Rabbanani, and now go all the way to the end of taisvus. 4 lines before the end of taisvus. Aval anu, says taisvus, we she'ein lanu reshus harabim klal. We don't have it. Why? Because it's either not 16 amos wide, it's not 32 feet wide, and we don't have 600,000 people walking through it, so we don't have it. Ein lahachmir bekarmelis kol kach. So what are our streets called? Our streets are called Carmelis. It's not a Rosh Hashanah, it's not a Rosh Hashanah, it's in between. You don't have to be machmir. V'Rab Shimshon Matzah Kosav b'Shem Rabbeinu Sar Shalom. The davar shurigilus lahare zulu aser. In those days, people used to show off their jewelry and take it off and show. But in our days, when women are not used to taking off the jewelry, nobody shows it off, it's not proper, mutaros. V'nashe didan, and our women, our women do not remove the jewelry, and therefore they're permitted. So he has a heter. A major problem we have, Rabbi Sai, how in the world could a woman go out in our days into a street with jewelry? Says Tosfos, because perhaps the pshat is because they don't show off. So we don't have this gzeira of the Mishnah. Then he says, davar amru hakadmonim. Look at the last words of Tosfos. The mutaris latzis behen, they're allowed to. Why? Because we don't have a choice. We don't have a choice. Because what are you going to do? Tell your wife not to go out with jewelry? She's not going to listen to you. And if she doesn't listen to you, she'll be chayav achatos. So what is that called? Mutav yu shoygegois v'al yu mezidois. You hear what Tosfos says here? So I looked in the Mishnah Berurah here. It's a massive piece. It's this long. In Siman Shin Gimel Seif Yud Ches, if you want to look it up yourself. And the Mechaber basically brings all the Tosfos. He says, V'yesh amru this, and Yesh amru this, and we have this heter and this heter, and maybe we don't have Rosh Rabbim today, and maybe we don't have a kid this, and then the Bir Halacha says, at the end of the day, all these Pshatim and Tosfos are excuses to be Melamed Schus on Klal Yisrael, but at the end of the day, he says, do not tell your wife not to wear it, Mishum demutov shu shoygim v'ayu mezidin, but he says, Mashma de'ein soimchim ala terim halalu kolkach. These are just excuses. The heterim, and a real Yerushalayim shouldn't wear jewelry outside at all. In the Carmelas. I'm just quoting the Mishnah. I had no idea. Rabbi said, I had no idea until today that's an issue even. That you just go about. Yeah, my mother wore it, and my wife. Say there. It's not a. Why would you even think that's an issue? No, there's something behind it. Why do we do it? We don't know exactly what Tosfos says. We have this excuse, that excuse. At the end of the day, we're saying, Mutav shu shayim v'ayu mezidim. It's terrible. Okay. Now look around a little bit. See if my friend's wife wears it. She's a tzaddikus and she doesn't want to be a shaygig, a mezid, whatever. We'll have to see. You wear jewelry outside on Shabbos? Fine. Says the Gemara. Let's finish up here. It's getting a little late. Says the Gemara, Maishnahani. Why? This is also very, very important sugya. Rabbi say, why does the Mishnah say, according to Rav at least, according to our Tana, why does the Mishnah say there are two things you're allowed to go into a chatzar? It's called a sheitel and it's called a koivel. Why? It's an amazing concept. The Gemara was concerned about a woman being attractive to her husband, and if you take off these items, that might not happen. And what's going to happen? He'll divorce her. It's a problem. The Gemara is concerned about these things. Amazing. If you look at the words of the pasuk, it says Adava b'nidasa. What does nida mean? It means distance. Distance yourself from her. Okay, so distance. Maybe I should be a big machmer and distance. What do I do? In the beginning they said she shouldn't use makeup. She shouldn't wear nice clothing. She shouldn't do any makeup, not the red, not the blue. And Rebbe Kiva came along and he was melamed. What you're doing is terrible. You're making her disgusting in the eyes of her husband. You're taking away her makeup. You're taking away her clothing. She loses her feminine touch, whatever it is. It's going to cause a disaster. This is the Gemara talking. This is Rebbe Kiva talking. Rebbe Kiva. So, but we have to explain the simple pshat in the word. What do you mean, distance yourself? She should be in Tumah. She's Tmeya. She has to go to the mikvah. I don't know, and I don't want to get into it, but it's something to think about. There are people in different societies that, let's say, shave their wife's head. I don't know where, so there's a lot of discussion about it. There's some cipher. I'm not the first person discussing it, but we have to see how this fits in. Think about how does this fit into the Gemara. Is it making your wife unattractive to the point where you might divorce her? Is there an issue of unattractiveness? And listen to this. This always shocked me. There's an organization in Eretz Yisrael that pays a kala $1,000 if she doesn't wear makeup to her chuppah. There's somebody out there that's busy with this, that finds the time and feels that it's extremely important that a kala should not wear makeup, and he pays her $1,000. He goes collecting money. To me, it doesn't fit into this Gemara. I might be wrong. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't want to get into politics, but I told it to somebody yesterday, and he says, "Where's this organization? I got to get my daughter in touch with this immediately." $1,000. He doesn't care about the halacha, but he just wanted $1,000. Okay. Anyway, this is the time of the Gemara. You don't tell a woman, don't put on makeup and don't do this. Let's just do a few more lines. Anytime there was an Isser of Marasayin. So Rashi says, for instance, you don't wear armor. Why don't you wear armor? They're going to think you're going to war. You're not going to war on Shabbos. Or, what was another Marasayin? You don't line up your animals, your camels in a row, because it looks like you're going to the marketplace. Marasayin. So if you cannot do Marasayin, afilu b'chadri chadar masur. Don't tell me, oh, nobody sees you, even if you're in the bathroom. So listen to this. When we go to Chicago, since we only keep one day, we're there for Pesach. Everybody is doing the Seder, and we are Israelis. We're not Israeli, but we live in Eretz Yisrael. So we could do malacha, but you can't do malacha when you're in America. You can't do malacha. Not only that, you cannot do malacha even b'chadri chadorim. So you can't go into the bathroom and check out your text and your iPhone. It doesn't work. That's the psak, basically. There are people that don't know this and people that argue with this maybe, but the basic halacha is you cannot do malacha anywhere, even b'chadri chadorim. So we don't gain anything by being there that day. We just don't have to say that Goda, but we have to join them by the Seder. It's not nice if we go to sleep. So you join that. And you can't do any muktzah, so then what's the big thing? All right. You can't take an animal out, even if with a bell, even if the bell is stuffed with something. You could stuff it up and bring the animal into a chatzar. Now, what's a chatzar? A chatzar is considered. Oh, I'm look on Zoom also.
I hear you. It's fine.
Okay, a chatzar is considered a private place, so it's.
Only your video is frozen. Maybe try to switch off your video and switch it back on again.
I like that picture. It's great. Just keep it like that. It's unbelievable. I look amazing. We're finished. We're finished. Hold on. So says the Gemara Tanoi the Sanyo Shoitchem Bechama Avaloikenegedom. If your clothing falls into a puddle in rain, you could lay it out and let it dry. Rabbi Lazar, Rabbi Shimon, people are going to think you did laundry today. Baruch Hashem, it froze all the way at the end of the year, not in the beginning of the year. People are going to think, Gershon did it by mistake. He's here to help. It's Gershon's fault. That's what he said. So don't worry about it. We're done. It says like this. So it's actually machlokes tanaim whether or not in chadri chadarim you're allowed to do malacha or not. Have a wonderful day, night. Tomorrow, 7:15, regular time. Be'ez Hashem, pretty soon we'll be back in the Beis Medrash, Bekarev. No more Corona. Amen. Avi, please say something.